Hi guys, welcome back to the desktop for another rules breakdown. And this week, instead of doing another D20 based game, because I covered Stargate SG1 at the start of the week, and it's basically just a D20 based game based on the 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons rules, and I've done that a couple of times, so I didn't see a need to do it yet again. Although I might return if I do cover Spycraft, which SG1 does use the basic Spycraft rules. But this time I've decided to go back to one of the very first games I ever covered on the channel, the Ghostbusters RPG. Now, this is a D6 based game using the D6 system, which came out in 1986, only 2 years after the first Ghostbusters movie. And it's probably the earliest incarnation of the D6 system, which is then used in Star Wars, Men in Black, a lot of games during the West End Games period, but is still being developed for now. I believe a Zorro game came out within the last couple of years using the D6 system. So it's be interesting look to see where the system came from and its very first incarnation. Now I've discarded the box and got rid of everything that was in it, and all I'm going to need is the training manual, which is this nice thin booklet, and a character sheet. And I've chosen out the one that they provide for Egon out of the movies. Now, skills work very easily by rolling the number of dice based on either the trait or the talent. So for physics-based things, we can see that Egon rolls 10 dice. For climbing, he rolls 5. But for other skill rolls within the groups of brains, muscles, moves, and cool, he rolls 7 or 2 dice. Now let's have a look at what those mean. So we've got brains, and the talents within it are vast: accounting, anthropology, archaeology, astronomy, biology, botany, bureaucratics, chemistry, deduce, etc., through to zoology. For muscle, well, these are obviously combat-based and physical things. So brawling, break things, climb, gobble food, grapple, intimidate, jump, kick things over, lift, rip things open, run, swim, and wrestle. For moves, well, it's basically your dexterity. So you've got attract attention, balance, breakdance, catch, disguise, dodge, drive vehicle, fire weapon, gossip, hide, right through to throw. And then we've got cool, with bargain, bluff, borrow, browbeat, charm, convince, fast talk, arate, play poker, play stock market, raise children, tell fibs. And obviously, with a system as open as Ghostbusters, you can probably come up with your own ones, which the Games Master will allow. The Ghost Master, as it's called in the game. So here we are, we've got Egon, and he's trying to work something out. So he's trying to rewire something in a storm. So he's got 7 dice, because it's not physics-based, so we get our 7 dice. Now there's 2 ways, because I mentioned it was in a storm, of penalising Egon for that. Either we can put the target number up, or we can reduce the amount of dice. So we can say that the lights are flashing because it's a storm and the electricity's out, that's why he's trying to rewire it. So he loses a dice for the poor lighting, a dice for the storm, so he's only going to be rolling 5 dice. And if we flick on a couple of pages, we can see target numbers. So, automatic successes. No need to roll dice. Blasting a wall with a proton pack, sleeping soundly in your own bed, driving a car, using a payphone, paying sales tax, picking up a toy poodle. So, easy jobs. Picking someone up in a singles bar, sleeping soundly in a swank hotel, picking up a Yorkshire Terrier, eating 3 Big Macs. They are requiring a roll of 5 or more. Normal jobs are 10 or more. Picking up an attractive person. Picking up an Irish setter. Cheating the IRS. Driving in Manhattan without getting lost. Hard jobs requiring a 20 or more. Picking up an off-Broadway actor or actress. Driving along the freeway during rush hour without losing your temper. Picking up a St. Bernard. Paying no taxes. And impossible jobs, 30 or more. Blasting a ghost with your eyes shut. Sleeping through a volcanic eruption. Winning the Indianapolis 500 in a Honda Civic. Picking up a buffalo. And we're rolling a number of dice based on the target. So we'll say rewiring the thing is going to be a normal job, so he requires a 10 or higher. Now, when you roll, you need to use the ghost dice, which is basically the equivalent of the wild dice in every other system. And when a number comes up, you just add it like an ordinary dice. However, when the Ghostbusters symbol comes up, the ghost symbol, if the ghost comes up, however, something bad has happened. If something bad has happened, compare the numbers to the difficulty number anyway. If you roll a ghost and equal the number of greater difficulty, you succeed at your test, although you can look forward to some niggling annoyance. If you roll less than the difficulty number, not only does something bad happen, but you fail at your task. Big time trouble. So, he's trying to rewire his thing. We've got a target number of 10. We roll. We've got 10, 21, 22. So he succeeds big time. If it rolled a ghost, then it was succeeded, but something was going to happen bad later when the Games Master writes it in. And if he'd failed, he'd rolled all ones and the ghost, then something bad would happen, as well as him failing at the task. Now for initiative, there is no initiative system. Basically, everybody gets to go once, and you go in whatever order that the Games Master decides. So if he decides you've got the surprise on somebody, you'll go first. He may just work his way around the table. He may decide that the villains have got the drop on you. And I suppose, although this isn't a rule system, you could make a moves roll to see how fast you are and decide sequence that way. But in the rules, there is no way at all of determining turn sequence or initiative. Now, combat is worked out like other skill rolls. Basically, you're rolling your muscles for hand-to-hand combat or your moves for ranged combat and any applicable talents. So if you've got a brawling talent in your muscles, then you'll be rolling extra dice for that. If you've got a fire weapon skill amongst your moves talent, then you'll be rolling extra for that. Now in hand-to-hand combat, you're rolling your muscles plus whatever talent against your opponent's muscles plus whatever talent. So Egon here's rolling 2 dice. He rolls a 7. His opponent, let's say they're rolling the same, rolls a 5, so Egon hits. Now, depending on if he's using a weapon or not, if we flip over the page here, we can see that he gets bonus dice. So if he's using brass knuckles, blackjack, or long fingernails, he gets +1 dice. A switchblade, a bullwhip, or a frying pan +2, a club, chair, or sword +3, and a battle axe, chainsaw, or power drill +4. So let's say Egon's actually using a power drill, because it seems like the kind of thing Egon might have, then he'd actually be rolling 6 dice in combat, and his opponent would only be rolling 2. So Egon would stand a very good chance of hitting, depending on the weapon he was using. Now, ranged combat is against a static target number. So we've got ranges here. So ranged weapons are fired at point blank, normal, or long distance. The Ghostmaster determines 3 ranges for the particular weapon according to circumstances. So point blank range, the difficulty is usually 5. So they're rolling their moves against a target of 5. Normal range is 10 and long distance is 20. So we roll 2 dice. We get a 7. So he'd have made a normal point blank roll. A point blank roll, but a normal range one he'd have missed and a long distance one he'd have missed. And that's as simple as it is. Now, there is no damage system because the damage is incorporated in the skill roll. And we'll see why when we come on to health in a moment. Now, health in Ghostbusters is a bit of an odd one. You see, characters have these things called brownie points. Everybody starts with 20 of them. And when you're in play, you use them basically to boost dice. You can spend a brownie point to add a dice to a dice roll. However, in combat, when you take damage, so if you're hit by a battle axe, 1 brownie point if you're nicked to the bone, up to 10 brownie points if a part fell off and is bouncing around the room. So the Games Master decides how hard the hit is and decides how many brownie points you lose. Now, Ghostbusters isn't supposed to be a game where you die. So when you reach 0 brownie points, all that happens is you reduce one of your traits by 1 point and you get 20 more brownie points. And I suppose it's possible for your character to drain away all his stats that way. But that's going to take a very long time and probably over multiple adventures, and the character's going to be virtually unplayable by the end anyway. And Advancement uses brownie points as well. So, looking at the brownie points, they can go right up to 60, but at any point, a player can trade in 30 points if they have them to increase one of their traits by 1. And obviously their talents go up by 1 as well, the ones which are based on that trait. You'll notice that when you trade in a trait point, you get 20 points back. When you buy a trait point, it's 30 points. So your character does lose out if they need to trade in their trait points. And it is a decreasing circle if you get stuck into that of taking damage and needing to buy or needing to sell off your traits. And so that is a very, very brief look at Ghostbusters. It's a very basic system. It's very fast, it's very quick, and very fun. Everything's pretty much left up to the Ghostmaster or the Games Master. Basically, it suggests even if you are using brownie points to gain extra dice in skill rolls, if you're describing them well enough and coming up with a rationale, and then you succeed in a spectacular fashion, you might actually earn more brownie points back during play for doing something entertaining. What it does suggest is if you're being boring and slow in your descriptions and slowing the game down and not making it interesting and fun, then you'll end up losing out on brownie points. If you're being a lot of fun, then you're going to get brownie points back and you're going to be rewarded for it. But anyway, I think I've gone on for quite long enough about what is a very simple, fun system. Thank you very, very much for watching. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment below, as it does me massive favours with the YouTube algorithm. But, as always, most of all, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.